All right, welcome back to the Mr. J Show. No big intro. We're just gonna get into it because I have these videos saved that I need to get to, but uh, I'm s- I'm still going through the Bry Shep rabbit hole and Warren Smith, who I actually like, um, pretty. He's a really smart dude. Uh, someone sent me an email like maybe 3 weeks ago. Sorry, I've been very busy, but um, they were like Warren Smith uh was on pushing the limits, and they were very vague. Something about he was complaining about a YouTube title or something, and I was like, anyways, they sent me the link and the timestamp, so we're gonna, because listen, here's the thing. The email was short, but it said like Brian basically brought Warren on the show to complain about his clickbaity YouTube channels. Are you serious? All of us YouTubers do it. That's the that, that's how you drive traffic to your channel. Uh but they say it doesn't. They said also in the email, I'm reading it right here, that he starts spurging out like really early and then continues to just like spurg out for like an hour. And I'm just like, over a YouTube title? I don't know, whatever. Anyways, like, comment, share, subscribe, turn on post notifications, hit that super thanks button if you want to help support the channel. And let's get into it.
All right. So with that being said, without further ado, um,
Why does he have his mic up so loud? For someone who works in radio, he's awful at this.
I understand that there are a lot of people on the right that maybe they see me as a threat. Maybe they see it as clickbait. And when they make videos about me, they make money off of it. I could probably name you 20 or 30 creators that constantly make videos about me. Literally,
No one sees you as a threat. No one on the right or the left or in the middle think you are a threat. They think you're a joke. You're like the lol cow of the political sphere right now. Like the LTG or the dark side Phil of politics.
on a daily basis. In fact, there are some podcasts that actually do a show about my show.
That's not true. Cool Vic does some stuff on, I don't know, I don't watch Cool Vic very much, but there aren't like 20 or 30 people. There's like the only people I know of that have made videos about him other than me is Cool Vic, Jake Rattlesnake, uh Andrew Wilson, obviously. There was one other one I can't think of, but there aren't 20 people. Like, what are you talking about?
Some that have been doing it for years. And if that wasn't the case, then I would say to myself, I'm doing something wrong. It means that people are noticing what I'm doing, whether they agree or disagree with me or they enjoy mocking me, whatever the case, it means I'm doing something right because I'm being noticed. So that really doesn't bother me.
But you're being noticed for all the wrong reasons.
I shouldn't say the word bother, but what is annoying to me is when people completely misrepresent my opinions or lie about me. Now, this discussion or debate might be a little bit different than some of the other discussions and the other debates we've had. And Warren Smith has agreed to come on the show to have that discussion. And I do appreciate him coming on to do so. Warren, good to see you. Thanks for coming on. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing okay, Warren. So, as you know, I have some gripes with some of the videos you've done about me, some of the headlines, some of the titles, but this isn't anything new because we've had these conversations before, but I just wanted to ask you about them and bring the receipts if that's okay because I'm confused and I don't understand. So you did this show a few weeks ago, right? And I want to put up the first YouTube headline you put up,
Anti-racist expert exposed by his own racism after expert left speechless.
which is expert left speechless, anti-racist expert exposed by his own racism. Um, where did I say that he was an expert on racism? I don't understand. Let's start there.
When I was on the show, you said, "Hey, I'm going to bring on someone from the NAACP
NAACP.
or
I
whatever that
remember that.
organization
Yeah,
is."
which I didn't.
And
Yeah.
then, okay, well, I thought you were going to bring on someone who could grapple with my ideas more thoroughly.
Yeah, so a guy by the name of Santana who was supposed to come on, who's I wouldn't say he's an expert either. He had canceled last minute, and this gentleman, who I even himself would say is not an expert, he just happens to be an African American and a friend of a friend. And I needed to find somebody last second to come on to be able to debate you because I didn't want to cancel it.
A friend of a friend.
Okay,
And I
fair
would
enough. You sent me his profile, and I saw that he
Mhm.
was like a TikTok debater, and I thought that was his realm.
Yeah, that's
So
Santana
it
who
kind of
canceled
did.
last minute. Yep, yep.
Yeah, if the
Mhm.
theme of this podcast is going to be that you don't like my YouTube titles, fair enough. You know,
Well, no, but I just want to understand why you do that. Like, first of all, was
I
he
just
left
told you. Yeah.
speechless? He was speechless in the debate?
There were times I don't think he could.
Uh-oh, that's the first thing. Bryce Shep does not like people laughing at him and Oh, okay.
Okay, well, I don't know what you're talking about. I really don't. Can we put up that other clip? He wasn't speechless, Warren. It's just not true. You said Brian Shapiro brought in the best expert he could find to educate me. That's not true.
He didn't even read the whole thing. Brian Shapiro brought the best expert he could find to educate me on racism. He was a nice guy, but this backfired so badly. Excuse me. I haven't heard from them since.
I just
But
explained
I
to you that's
just okay. Well, my
You hear him laughing? That's so funny. That's gonna trigger him so bad.
not true. I just
but
explained
I
to you that.
just okay. Well, my understanding is that you were going to bring someone on who could more thoroughly grapple with the flaws of my arguments.
Okay, so
I
is
thought that
that
was the whole
title
point of bringing
okay?
someone else on other
I,
than
I
yourself.
agree. I agree. But sometimes guests cancel. I told you that Santana canceled last minute. I had to find somebody. So, and by the way, I
Yeah.
told you that. I told you that Santana had canceled.
I don't remember that. I don't know who Santana is.
Okay. Okay. All right. Put up the next one. Let's try this again. Uh, they
They kicked me off the show. Radio host calls me racist, and his audience demand I be. Oh, I think I remember that. Because I do watch Warren Smith.
kick me off the show.
Look how unhinged they made Bryce Shep look in this. That's so funny.
When
Yes.
have I ever kicked you off the show?
So that so that one after I logged off, the callers were very upset with me over my racism, and you claimed that yeah, I'm skeptical about having him on. It's good. I'm trying. This was a while ago. I like having someone who can
Mhm,
disagree with me,
mhm,
but this is pretty racist stuff. It is shocking. So I'll
mhm,
have to think. I hear your feedback. Everyone was calling for me not to be allowed on,
mhm.
but again, these are YouTube titles. So
Did I kick you off the show?
d- d- this is similar to. Did I see you kicked? You literally last week. You said, Warren, unless you make a public apology, you're not allowed back on this show.
No, the reason why I didn't want you back on, to be honest with you, Warren, is that, and I'm being completely honest, I think you're
Okay, so you
extremely.
kicked me off the show.
Well, no, I didn't kick you off the show. Kicking you off the show,
Banned me
would be
from the
like right
show.
now. Yeah, I haven't done that.
Fair
That's
enough.
I haven't done
Fair
that. Well, I
enough.
know you
You're
say
right.
fair enough, but you keep these stupid titles up there that are not
Because
true.
they're YouTube
It's
titles,
annoying.
Brian.
Well, who cares? They're
Exactly.
dishonest titles. Why can't you be honest with your YouTube titles? Now you can have an opinion. You can have an opinion that says, "I think I destroyed Brian in a debate. Here's why." That's fine. You have the right. I don't know why you're laughing.
what's
You have
Oh,
the right
what's the
there it is.
okay?
because you're
So the one that
dishonest.
the okay,
You're
Brian. So the
dishonest in
one
your
that
title.
seemed to spark me being banned from the show was the last one where I said you were laughed off stage. And technically, I
Well,
would
we'll
like
get
to
to that.
apologize to you officially, publicly, because technically you were
Oh,
not laughed off stage.
we'll get to that, Warren. We'll
You
get
were
to
just
that.
laughed at on stage. You're right.
Okay,
There's a
we'll
difference.
we'll get
but
to that,
not-
Warren. I
He's talking about the Rachel Wilson debate where everyone was laughing at him.
know you want
Why
to
do
be
you care so
condescending.
much?
Warren, we'll get to that. Calm down. I promise you, I want to talk to you about that also. Bring up the next one.
Okay.
This left him speechless. Liberal host goes silent. First of all, I absolutely lean to the left, but as I've told you numerous times on this show, I'm a registered independent that didn't vote for Hillary.
I'm a registered independent. There's one for the Bryce Shep bingo card. Never voted for Hillary, never voted for Obama, and my Joe Biden vote was an anti-Trump vote or something.
Obama. So you lie when you say I'm a liberal. That's not factually accurate. And then you laugh when I catch you in a lie. When have I ever been left speechless in my 22-year radio
I don't,
career?
Brian. First, we had an entire debate, you and I, over the claim that you're not a leftist, which I understand.
Not
I
a
don't
claim.
like labels either. This is the game of YouTube. But when we go through your ideology, all of your claims fall on the left, like
Okay,
all of
fine.
them.
Let's go with
So I
that.
don't think
So
it's unfair to me
let's go
to
with that.
claim I'm grappling with a
I think,
leftist, or at least leftist ideology.
I need to grab my water.
'Cause a
I don't
leftist
even remember what that video was about,
it doesn't
so I
matter
couldn't
what
tell
you're
you which
it
part
doesn't
you were speechless
it
about.
doesn't matter. What you're saying
Also an
is not
expression.
true. First of all, I'm for border security. I'm for capital punishment. For the first 30 minutes of the show, I've been blasting Democrats, and I don't want. I was, saying Kamala shouldn't run again. I gave a bunch of reasons why. I took a lot of flack on social media today. This is something that I do on a regular basis. You never, hardly ever, maybe 0.1% of your videos are ever, criticizing Donald Trump for anything.
12 minutes into this video, and he's already bringing up Trump. There's another bingo card.
Put up the next one. And by the way, I've never been speechless on my show either, so I don't know what the hell that means. Tim Pool goes off on guest. Tim Pool leaves. Oh, there you go again. Liberal guest, speechless. Why do you keep saying I'm speechless? I did a 3-hour debate with Tim Pool, and then after that debate, I did an in-person debate with him and Myron Gaines, and Tim Pool would be the first one to tell you, okay? I've never been speechless on his show. I certainly have never been
expression, Brian.
speechless. Okay, so
It's
so
an
It doesn't mean
expression.
you're literally like you can't say anything.
calling you a racist. Okay, well, me calling you racist is just an expression. Okay.
Fine.
Okay.
I'm not complaining, dude.
Okay.
I don't
Well,
care.
you make videos about it. I know you don't care. He called me a racist. He kicked
And
me
you
off.
can make videos and do whatever YouTube titles
I
you
didn't
want to
say.
do.
I didn't say you couldn't do it. That's not the point of this
But you
conversation.
banned me from the
You're
show
very-
for it.
When have I banned you from the show? Okay, this is
You
so
said I
stupid.
can't come on the show unless I make a
the
public
last-
apology. So that I
I was-
offered to do it last Friday.
What was the public apology supposed to be for?
Okay,
Which
the
you
last
asked me initially to do, but then you said, no, I want you to do it in, it was bizarre, in
the last-
email, and
here's
I
what's
got
bizarre.
4 emails in one day.
I did, and I'll get to that. For the last several weeks, I've made multiple trips and I've taken time off of work, which I also emailed you. Not that you deserve any explanation because I don't owe you one. You can continue that weird laugh, or you can pay attention more, and it's up to you. I went to California. Okay, I went to Cal Berkeley with the Enough America tour. I had to take several days off from work. I then took a trip to North Carolina to do a debate. I had to take several days off from work. You're not tops on my priority list, Warren. I don't have to get back to you right away.
Care.
Okay?
I'm not
All right.
worried about it.
All
What are
right,
you
well,
I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's not that you being worried. It's about your being dishonest. I never blocked you or banned you.
About
Or
what, Brian? What are you? What period of time are you talking about?
the last couple of weeks, you put up a video claiming that because of your
No.
appearance with this
Brian,
guy.
that's
somehow
what triggered this, right? It was that tweet where I said, ever since this debate, I haven't heard from him. That's all I said.
you think
I
it was
never
because-
said anything in which I had it. True or false? Had I not heard from you since? That's all I said, and that's what you got upset about.
You're insinuating, yeah, because you're making the insinuation that somehow I banned you or something. Well, that's what you were doing.
Literally
That's
true.
That's what you were doing, no? Another one. You can put up another one, Justin. Another host left
You
speechless.
prepared all of this?
Yeah, because your
This is pathetic. How long does this go on for?
titles are like that of what a buffoon would do. Why do you keep doing that? Put up another one. Put up another one.
They're
Let's have fun
YouTube
with this.
titles, man, not the
Is
video
peace?
itself.
Well, you're dishonest.
Did I say anything you would disagree with? Any points I've made, or is it just titles?
Well, you say things that are not factually accurate.
Like
Is
what?
peace? I try to negotiate peace with the left. Guess what, Warren? I'm not the left. I'm not the left. Okay.
Okay.
I'm not the left. Well, yeah. Okay.
Radio host challenges me live on air in the best debate of my career. Official TDS sufferer Brian Shpiro looks like a fool when logic is applied to his false statements. This is on Twitter from someone called Politically Incorrect. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Radio host challenges me live on air. Best debate of my career. Typical
At the
TDS.
time, that was one of my favorites. What's wrong with that?
Okay, well, that's great. I'm so happy to hear that, Warren. So you said typical TDS sufferer, Brian
Warren didn't say this. Politically Incorrect did. What is he talking about?
Shpiro looks like a fool. I think you're a typical TDS.
I said that? I never wrote that.
Okay, well, radio. Okay, that's what I see right here. If you're saying
that's
you didn't,
not my writing, Brian. Who wrote that?
If you didn't say that, then that's my fault, and I apologize. I will own that if you didn't write that. But I think you get the, I think you get the, I think you get the idea of where I'm coming from here. And I think
you were going to say before I got here, man. It's fun.
Okay, well, that's great. That's great. But your titles are not honest. I think they're it's okay to be opinionated. I certainly don't have a problem with somebody who is opinionated. I know you can think you destroy me in every debate, and you have the right to think that way. And I know a lot of your probably 99.9% of the people who watch your stuff are not on the left, who did not vote for Kamala Harris. I can guarantee you the wide over majority of the people who watch your YouTube videos are on the right. So of course they're going to agree with you. Obviously, that's what it is. I don't deny the fact that the majority of my listeners are probably on the left, okay? But when you make statements like I was laughed off the stage or I was laughed during the debate that I had with Rachel Wilson, are you aware of who was at that debate? Because it's just like when you come on my show and people want you thrown off and you see the comments of people that don't like you, that are calling you a racist and all this other stuff. When people are laughing at me and they're clapping for her, are you aware of?
I have no idea what Brian's talking about because I have never heard anything like even close to racism come out of Warren Smith's mouth like ever. If you watch his show, he makes like 6 to 7 minute videos, one maybe a day. He's a very cool, calm, and collected person, and he does give his opinions based on like a scholarly knowledge, but he's never said anything like
the demo of the people that were in the crowd, because I'll give it to you.
How could I know who's sitting in the crowd? The camera doesn't show who's in the crowd, and why does it matter?
Very good point, Warren. Very good point. So let me give you a little bit of context. There were only 2 Democrats that were in the crowd that day. My manager, who was there, and one other individual who was a fan of my show. Literally.
So he's just proved everyone's point. It was assumed that there was no one there on Brian Shapiro's side, and now he's just admitting it, that there were like 2 people there other than him.
Every other person that was in the crowd was a Republican and a cult follower of the Wilsons. So
dude,
of course,
I used to can I tell you this? This is interesting. My first 2 years in college were at that college. That's not a conservative college, though. Why do you think that indicates the fact that there was no one there supporting you?
Good point.
I didn't say it was.
No one came to see you. So does that is that a data point?
Why do I think that? Okay, so that's a different topic.
It's not like a conservative college. It's a public UNC college.
Sure. Do you know who put on this event?
No, I don't. But it was
You
hosted
don't.
at UNC Wilmington.
Don't you think that's kind of important that you might want to know?
People could attend it though, right? It's a
Let me,
public event,
let
correct?
Wasn't it uncensored debates or something?
yes, let me explain to you since you don't know who put
Okay.
on the event. And by the way, I've already given you context as my phone's gone off here. I've already given you context as to who was there, and now I will give you more context as to the organizers who put it on. The organizers who put on the event are Uncensored America. Now,
Uncensored America,
Uncensored
that's what it is.
America, there are only a couple groups of people, a couple people that work with Uncensored America. Warren, do you know who they are?
I've heard the term, but what does that have to do with who
Has
attended
everything
the event and
has
people
everything
not attending it
has
to see you?
has everything to do with it. Do you know the people that work with Uncensored America at all?
I'm guessing they're conservative.
Yeah, well,
Is that where you're going?
that's probably a good guess. But the only people that work with Uncensored America are the Wilsons, right wing evangelicals, and Myron Gaines, who was a Holocaust denier. So there's a
Okay,
lot of
how many
people.
people were in the crowd, would you estimate?
But
Yeah, but doesn't he pal around with that degenerate Destiny like all the time? Aren't they like good friends? Isn't Destiny like oh geez, I need to watch what I say because TOS. Isn't Destiny in some like legal trouble involving let's just say women? Like he's a degenerate being sued for so I don't know if he really wants to like bring up who's associated with who.
but can you just I'll get to that. But what I just said, the people that associate themselves with Uncensored America are the Wilsons, who think that women shouldn't be allowed to vote. Okay. And a guy by the name of Myron Gaines, who was a Holocaust denier who mocks Jews for dying in the Holocaust. Can you just acknowledge that for me?
I don't know any of this. So you're
I
saying,
know, of course
so
you don't. Of course
Andrew and
you
his wife work with this organization? Okay.
don't.
How
And
many
Myron
people were in the
Gaines,
crowd?
maybe about 40, or it wasn't a big crowd, maybe 40
Okay.
people. Yeah, wasn't a big crowd.
Okay.
Maybe 40 people. So I'm trying to give you a little bit of context. Like when people are on, are in the chat on this show, and we can put
I need to make my title and thumbnail crazy. Like just to try to trigger him, just like Warren Smith leaves Bryce Ship speechless and is laughed off his radio show or something.
up the chat, because I know there's probably a lot of people here that aren't very big fans of yours that would say things about you that you would probably disagree with. There's a lot of people that think you're a very boring, monotone person, that you're not entertaining, that some people think that you're a racist, right? And I'm sure a lot of Andrew Wilson fans probably, I don't think they think I'm a racist because I've never said anything that would be close to that, but they don't like me. They call me names and they laugh at me. And those were the kinds of people that were in the audience. So when you make a claim like Brian was laughed off stage, which by the way didn't happen, the people that were laughing in the front row, okay, for most of the debate, as I like to call them, the Andrew Wilson circle jerk team. It was
Right.
Andrew Wilson. Hold on. It was
Right.
Andrew Wilson.
Why does he always have to make it gay? He's always like calling other people out for cuz I watched ugh, I'm going to have to do a review on that. I watched both his debates on the Raging Tomato or whatever. And like he always is like, "Well, what's wrong with being gay?" But then he like always turns every cuz what does he call Trump supporters? Mushroom gobblers or something. He always makes it gay.
Funny. I was laughing. I wasn't there. I'm sure
I
it was
think it's
funny.
Well, I think it's really funny that people think you're really boring and you're a racist. I also think that's very funny.
So
Very funny, Warren. It's very funny
why
that
does
all
this
your
bother you so badly?
it's not bothering me. I'm just proving the point that
You're
you're a
very defensive,
liar.
Brad.
You're
This is
no
extremely strange
okay,
behavior.
okay. I think your behavior is very strange. That on all of your
Okay,
titles,
which piece of my behavior beyond my YouTube titles?
yeah, because well, what do you mean beyond all your videos? I can't find one video where you're saying, "Man, that Democrat really owned that Republican in that debate."
Yeah.
You're a biased hack. That's what you are. But prove me wrong. Prove me wrong on my show right now, because I was looking at your videos over the course of the last year. I didn't have time to go back further. I couldn't find one video of you analyzing a debate.
So why don't you send me one, Brian, that you think has enough interesting dynamics, and I'll analyze it.
For the history of the debates in
Right, we've
any
had
of
this
your
conversation
videos,
before, man.
why
There's
not?
things
Tell
I
us.
disagree with. It's
Very
just
credible.
I
Yeah,
have my perspectives and point of view as well.
I can go to debates and I could say that right winger probably beat that left winger debate. I mean, as we look at the comments, because we have a lot of fans of yours, Warren, in the comments, they're laughing you off the stage, Warren. They're laughing you off the show right now.
Here's the thing, Brian, is you can say that, but if it really isn't, if there's no dynamics to support it and it's really inaccurate,
There's a
like if
dynamic.
that's not actually happening on screen,
There is
it's
a
not gonna
dynamic.
work.
I have my opinions. You have yours, right, Warren?
But
I think it's working quite
it
well.
was funny. That's why it works.
Maybe it doesn't work with your audience, and maybe that's your definition of humor. But I think the reason why a lot of people on this show don't like you, for a lot of reasons, and I will agree with some of them, I think you're a very boring person to interview. I think you have no personality at all. You're not entertaining. You're not funny.
He's just a very calm person. He's very stoic through a lot of what he does. Like, who cares?
You're ill prepared. When I bring up topics,
so am I. Some people say that's why they watch my shows, because the deadpan look. Because when I don't have the deadpan look, they know that whatever emotion, like if I smile or whatever, is genuine. Because I'm not a smiley haha person.
like the Epstein files or other topics. Even you on this show said, "I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared for that." I think,
yeah,
and by the way,
I don't
yeah, there's a lot of things you don't know. There's people in this industry, you've done their shows, people on the right. They've told me in private conversations, multiple people, that it was a brutal interview with you, that you're boring, Warren.
Are you willing to say, like, who?
I will ask I will ask them if it's okay with them. I was talking to one dude today that's a friend of mine, and he said it was one of the most brutal interviews he's ever done because you have no personality.
He doesn't have any friends on the right. Everyone on the right thinks he's retarded.
Right now, you're getting.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. If he's genuinely friends with you,
yep,
that tells me something about him. Like, I doubt he's held in high regard amongst.
So any of my friends, so none of my friends are held in high regard.
I would be surprised, honestly. Like, yeah, if they're genuinely friends with you.
Yeah. Do you know some people that I talk to on a regular basis?
Possible. I would just be very surprised.
Very possible. You know who I talk to on a regular basis?
Who?
Tim Pool. What would you say about him? He doesn't mind me saying that. I text him all the time. What's so funny?
Tim Pool is not friends with Brian Shpiro. I'll put money on that.
No, Tim doesn't like me. I know that. He made a whole massive content.
Okay, I didn't ask you. No, but Tim, I consider Tim a friend, even though I disagree with him on a number of different things he says on the air. So
you guys hang out, or has he had you? I know he's had you on his show, but do you guys hang out?
We have hung out before. We've played poker together. We've had dinner together. Yeah, we have hung out. So what would you
after a debate
say about Tim? Oh, you gonna bash him now too because we're friends?
Would I I haven't met Tim. I thought his.
What about Alex Stein? I don't have any friends on the right. What about Alex Stein's a friend of mine.
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know. David Pollock.
The pimp on a blimp is no friend to this.
Has the highest rated show on OAN. He's a friend of mine.
I don't know who he is.
You don't know who any of these people are, right? You don't know who Alex Stein is either?
I would probably recognize his face, but I don't.
Oh, wait, say again. So if somebody on the right is a friend of mine, that speaks volumes to their character. Is that what you're saying? Is that what your claim is on this show, Warren?
No,
that if I have somebody that's a friend on the right.
He never said the right. He said what Warren said was he wouldn't, if someone was legitimately Bry Shep's friend, he wouldn't hold their opinion in high regard. He never said whether left or right. He said a friend in general. I don't know if he just doesn't understand what's being said or if he purposely just... well, does what he's accusing Warren of, just trying to twist it and be dishonest. Or he doesn't understand how speech works. I don't know. See, here's the thing about Bry Ship is that I mean, let's be honest, nobody likes watching this dude, but we do it for the lulz. Like sometimes when I'm watching something he's putting up, I'm like this person cannot be real. It almost like he's so dumb that it feels like he's playing a character sometimes. And over the past couple months, me watching some of his content, and I'm like, this isn't. He's just dumb.
It speaks to their what?
I just
What
if
was the
someone
point you were trying to
genuinely
make?
finds like enjoys hanging out with you when we use the
Mhm,
word friend, it's like you guys go get
mhm.
beers, you're in touch, like
Talking
you
on a regular
enjoy
basis.
each other's
Sure,
company. I
sure.
would it's not like it's impossible, but I would be surprised if people that you would point to that I respect you actually hung out like they actually liked your company. That would
Mhm.
genuinely surprise me. That's what I'll say.
Does anybody like your company on the left?
Does anyone like
Yeah,
my
like anybody on the
mom?
left that you hang
My
out with?
I have
Not
all my
family.
childhood friends. Like all my best friends
Like
growing up
one
were on the
prominent,
left.
I'm sure you have random friends, but I'm talking about people in the media, people that we would know. Do you have anybody on the left that's a
I
prominent
Warren's not in the media.
don't
figure
have
that
many friends in the media, man.
how
My
about
friends are in
so
real life.
you don't have anybody prominent that you can say, I'm friends with that
Come on, Warren. You haven't been on Pierce Morgan and CNN and OAN. Come on, I have.
person on the left, yet you're trying to knock on me and you don't think I have friends, prominent people on the right. By the way, I've named
No,
multiple
Brian, it's
people.
because I think you're a strange dude.
I think you're a
That's
strange
why I'm
dude.
pointing
I
that.
think you're a strange dude. Yeah. Why am I?
Okay.
Why am I?
Bro, you
Why am I
because
strange? Warren?
you emailed me like was it 5 times in one day
I emailed you a
trying to
couple
have
times.
you refused. Okay,
Yeah, I
you're gonna
emailed you.
ask me a question. Just let me
Go
respond. So
ahead.
you got
Go ahead.
very upset
Mm-hmm.
about that tweet. You asked me to
I wasn't very upset.
immediately afterwards. It was last Friday.
Mm-hmm.
You were gonna do the show that afternoon. You were like, "Hey, can you come onto the show
Mm-hmm.
to address this?"
Yep.
And I was like, "This." I think it was like an hour before the show's gonna go, and I
Mm-hmm.
at the fire department. I can't like right now I'm on call making time for this. So if a call comes in, I have to go. But I was like, dude, next Friday we can do it. That was the first I'd heard of you,
Okay.
heard from you for weeks. As you said, you were traveling, whatever. Right. I
Well, yeah,
said,
that I
next
was.
Friday we'll do it. And then I get an email saying, make a public statement addressing the fact that you said I was laughed off stage, or I won't have you on next Friday. And I thought, Brian, I thought you wanted me to address this publicly. Wouldn't it be good to do it on the show? And then you emailed me and
The reason
emailed
why
me
I
and
was
emailed me
hesitant.
and
Yeah,
I was like,
I
you're
tried
making
to
it was
explain it to
strange
you.
because you were making it impossible for me to do the very thing
So
you
the
were asking me
so
to
the reason
do.
why I was hesitant to do that, Warren, is because a lot of my listeners don't like you very much. And I said, okay, I was hesitant to even do this on the air because I think a lot of your titles and your tweets and the things you say about me are extremely biased because I think you're a right wing
I
hack.
got that, Brian, but you
Yeah.
expected me to
So,
have this back and forth email debate, which would have gone nowhere when I
hey,
was willing to actually have a conversation, but I'm not
right,
going to go back and forth in
I
emails
don't
with
think
you because
that's
it's not going
okay.
to I
Well,
don't have
I don't think
time.
that's weird. No, you didn't have to do that. All you had to do was take responsibility and say, hey,
What are all these comments from like Facebook and stuff? Like,
you know what? I might have been wrong on that one.
Which
My
I
apologies.
offered to do, to
I
come
didn't
on the
do that.
show and address it, but then
Right.
you said, "No, you're not allowed on the show." It's like,
Well,
dude, I don't know what you're asking. I'm
I,
not going to respond to your emails over and
right.
over again.
You didn't have to do that. All you had to do was in an
You
email.
did. You said, "Oh, if
In an
you
email, you
why
could have
can't you
done that.
have the debate here in email,
Yeah.
Warren?" You
No,
were asking me to
it
do
wasn't.
that.
Warren, hang on, because
But
I don't agree with your characterization. All I wanted you to do in an email, one sentence, because I really didn't want to talk about this on the air because
See what that super chat says? Modern day debate set up so. Is this person calling Brian a liar?
To some of our listeners, I think it's probably a little bit boring because we could probably be talking about more important issues. All I wanted in an email was you to acknowledge that you were wrong and say, hey, my bad. And then I would have moved on with you. The fact that you wanted to just do it on the air, I said, why can't you just email me and say that? Because what I don't want to do is
You
I don't
asked
want
me to come on the show before you changed your mind.
because I didn't see that tweet that we're talking about. So what I don't want to do, Warren.
That's what initiated this
Hold
whole
on,
thing.
Warren.
You responded to the
Warren,
tweet.
I'm trying to explain it to you. What I don't want is I don't want to continually have someone on the show that, number one, my listeners can't stand and think are dry, the personality of a dead ant. That's number
It's your
one.
show.
Number two, I don't want somebody on my show that's going to continually misrepresent me, my opinions, my political affiliation.
Oh, so now we're going back to the thumbnails and YouTube titles.
And the things that transpire on and off the air, which clearly you've done, and I've laid that out in this segment. Okay. It's I understand you make money off my videos, and there's like probably 100 other people, and that's fine. I'm not saying you don't have the right to do that. But my issue with you, Warren, is that you mischaracterize me. You mischaracterize things that I say.
He makes it sound like people like me and people like Warren, like we only put out videos about him. Like that's all we talk about. Warren talks about 5 or 6 different things a week, and I do too. I don't even think Cool Vic does only Brian Shpiro videos. Like he does other stuff, I think.
Your titles are absolutely absurd and ridiculous.
What have I mischaracterized that you have said? Because I called you a leftist
my whole
and I
ideology.
said you were laughed off stage. That's you're
My
like speechless. Those are the
I
3
gave you
things you
10
pointed out.
I've gave you 10 other titles, including the fact that you call me a liberal over and over again. I'm
That's
a
the leftist
leftist.
portion.
I've given you multiple examples.
No, you're just repeating those 3 things over and over again. Those are the only 3 things.
why do
What
you
other
keep-
than those 3 things have you pointed out?
Exactly.
Why do you keep lying?
See, you
Why-
can't.
Do you want
you
me to
can't
come
do
up
it.
with you want me to come up with
You just
another
said there
one?
are 10 things.
So
Other than those 3, what are there?
If I go into your
See?
videos,
You can't do it.
I'm trying to answer if you'll stop talking.
But no, you're not. You're gonna do the whole Bryce Shep answer non-answer thing, where you say, "I'm gonna answer it, but before I do, I'll say that." Like it's, bro. This. He is the most unsufferable person. Oh, frick.
If I go into your videos, other than the 10 items that I showed you, I could come up with I would say probably at least 20 more things. How you misrepresent me in your videos.
It's okay to disagree. That doesn't mean I'm lying.
It's not about disagreeing, Warren. It's not about having a disagreement on policy. That's not what you're doing. You say things about me that are factually inaccurate. You don't give context. It could be a debate that I did in North Carolina when you have absolutely no context on the organization or the people that were there, and then you laugh about it.
Ryan, how is anyone supposed to know how many people are in the room or the organizers of the organization? Why is it not enough for me to just give my opinion on the debate?
Then why would you make a statement like that then if you don't know anything about the context? Why would you mock me for people laughing when you don't even know
what you were saying on stage
was stupid.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think the things you say in your videos are ridiculous.
Fair enough. I'm not complaining about it.
Okay, that's fine. I'm telling you why I am, because I think you're very dishonest. I know you're not complaining about it, and the reason why you're not complaining about it is you make money.
Is this the whole thing? Where he's just complaining about thumbnails, or does he have a different issue? Like what are we doing?
You'll make another video about this.
No, Brian,
Not
because I
being
don't
liberal.
care. It's fine. You're never going to be able to stop. People can have their opinions. I don't care.
You asked in the debate why I brought up COVID, and then you moved on to something else in the debate because you were mocking me for bringing that up. But what you didn't say in your video, to no surprise, the reason why I brought up COVID is because I showed a study, women in 7 countries in the world, and they did a better job dealing with COVID in leadership positions.
Which had nothing to do with the prompt. I remember that. Because I think then Rachel Wilson said, and what did all those people do? They shut down their countries, I think is what Rachel said.
Than men did per capita with deaths. But I also noticed you didn't bring that up. And in the video with the stupid face that you're making, Brian, why would he bring up COVID? He looks really stupid doing this. The context of it is because Rachel didn't think that women should be political leaders and be in politics. I brought up COVID, and the reason.
Look how much pain Warren's in. He just sits through this and takes it.
Why I brought it up was
I think that's why he brings Warren on, is because when he brings when he brings other people on who aren't as stoic and just like calm, they don't let him keep going and going and going and going. They'll challenge him. But the thing is Warren's in this particular it's not a debate, but conversation. I don't even think Warren didn't even make a video about this. And if he did, no, I don't think he did because I watch all of his videos. But the other people he brings on would not let him wouldn't let him get away with saying all of this just over and over and over. See how he's just like covering his head and looking down. He's a very like chill dude, and he doesn't care. And man, I feel bad for you, Warren.
For that reason to show statistics, and it's been proven. I believe it was a Johns Hopkins. No, it wasn't Johns Hopkins, but it was another study that came out that showed that women that were in leadership positions in the world in politics did a better job in saving lives. That's why I brought up COVID. Is that hard for you to
I
understand?
just think that's such a stupid strategy.
Oh,
Honestly.
okay, well, that's fine. I think what you do is stupid, so that's fine. We could agree to disagree on that. But what you did is
Fair enough.
you didn't bring it up
Fair
in that
enough.
video. You just said I randomly brought up COVID just to bring it up, but you didn't put any context.
I think it's a really weird thing to bring up, like you just did. I would say, yes, that's a weird
That's weird.
strategy. It's very
Okay,
random.
so women shouldn't be leaders when it comes to politicians in this example. I give a specific study, and the 7 countries that are led by women per capita death rate, their policy when it came to COVID saved millions of lives. And the fact that you can't follow that and you call it strange and weird.
That made more sense the way you no, you've explained it better there. It was just the way, sometimes the way you say it is a little comical, but
yeah, okay. Well, I just think I don't know what's comical about what I'm bringing up. The reason why I said the reason why, well, I really don't care whether you look at it or not. Clearly you haven't looked at the whole context of it. Either that or you're lying right now. Either one, I guess I really don't care. It's just dishonest. The reason why I said go make a sandwich multiple times to Rachel is because I've said multiple times to her, pretend like I'm Andrew, go make a sandwich. I've said that on social media, and in the context of it, that's why I kept saying that. Because
what do you mean by that? Pretend I'm Andrew. What does that mean?
Andrew, I'll explain that to you as well, because I believe her husband is a misogynist piece of crap based on a lot of statements that he has made. He is a misogynist.
Okay.
So he was misogynistic to Rachel Wilson because he believes that her husband, Andrew, is a misogynist, and that makes him a piece of garbage. Like, the logic isn't logicking here. Like, fighting misogynists by being misogynist, that
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right.
So if I think somebody is a misogynist, which by the way, I am not, and the only time I've ever used that phrase ever to a woman, ever in my life, on or off the air, public or private, is to Rachel, is because I'm putting it
Do
in
you
the
think that's
context
a
of
smart strategy to do if
I
you
don't
consider
I
yourself
don't care.
anti-misogyny
Okay, so let's talk
to
about
do that
strategy.
on stage?
Let's
Do you
talk
see
about
why
Exactly.
that might backfire?
Exactly.
to people like you because you're ignorant, but I will explain to you
No, it's
strategy.
because you
Let me
don't
explain
understand.
something. Let me explain something to you, okay? Because I think people like you struggle to grasp this. I'm a talk show host. When Rachel asked to debate me 6 months ago, I told her I wasn't interested because the only topic she wanted to discuss with me was feminism, a topic that I have little to literally no knowledge on. I tried to explain that to her and I said, let's talk about Trump. Let's talk about some of the topics that you and I have talked about. Let's talk about the Iran war. Let's talk about the Epstein files. Let's talk about Trump policy. Let's talk about ICE. She can't do it because she's a one trick pony. That was 6 months ago. Then the people at Uncensored America hit me up. We reached a financial agreement. I explained to them, I'm not even a feminist. And I've never had this conversation with anybody before. It came to my attention that I was just going to show up there to be the villain. And that's exactly what I was. I don't regret it. I
What?
made money. In
Wait,
fact, I've never been.
so
Hold
you
on.
got well, that's so
Let
you
me
got
finish.
paid going there to play the villain? You were playing a role for money, and
Yeah.
you're calling me manipulative and dishonest for my
You
YouTube
think,
titles.
you think that's manipulative? I didn't say
I
anything.
don't, dude. You can
I
do
didn't say.
whatever you want. If you want to
Hold
make
on,
money
hold on.
doing it, that's
It just came out of your mouth, Brian. You went there knowing you were going to play a role. That's called disingenuous, right? That's called being dishonest.
fine. I
Hold
just
on.
think it's a little
Hold on.
hypocritical.
Hold on. It's not hypocritical
Exactly.
at all. And I'll tell you why.
Oh,
I don't agree with Rachel when she says that women shouldn't be allowed to vote. I don't agree with Rachel with 90% of the BS that she spews. I didn't say anything.
and Rachel Wilson doesn't outright say women shouldn't be allowed to vote. Both Andrew and Rachel are on record saying a lot of different groups of people shouldn't be able to vote, and I think, but I think they say there should be like an aptitude test. I could be wrong. Sorry, I'm not an expert on the two. I just like their blood sport debates, but yeah, I think that like some kind of like intelligence test is what, because and what they're saying does kind of make sense, because what they're proposing, the Wilsons, is that basically too many dumb people get to vote, so we vote, in the American people in general tend to vote for dumb people, and so their logic makes sense. Like, if only people that can pass an aptitude test are allowed to vote, we'd have less dumb voters voting dumb people in. Makes sense. But Brian here, he always frames it as they want to take away women's rights to vote, and that's just not the case.
In that debate that I regret. But the point that I was trying to make, which I still think you're struggling to understand, is that I'm not even a professional debater. I do a talk show every day. It's what I do. I talk about the news. I'm a
Oh, we
political
know you're not a
commentator.
professional
I talk
debater.
about the news of the day. I talk about the news of the week. But she goes after low-hanging fruit. She goes after people that are not
He caught it as soon as I did. Look, he's already starting to smile. Bro did not just call himself low-hanging fruit. Why?
news of the week, but she goes after low-hanging fruit. She goes after people that are not professional debaters, not people that are professionals when it comes to the feminism debate.
Look at.
I made that very clear before the debate. I told them. So I was happy to go out there and still do my best.
You're kind of like you're
Insulting
insulting yourself. of
No, I'm
it. Like
not.
I think
No, I'm
Rachel
not.
would debate anyone that
No, I'm
would
not.
want to. You're calling yourself
I'm sure.
low-hanging fruit, Brian. You're
When it
admitting
comes
you're
to
low-hanging fruit, which I
okay, so
agree.
let me before you
I
become
agree
more
too.
condescending and be a jerk, let me just explain to you what I
He's not bean condescending. He's repeating what you said, idiot.
mean by
You
that.
just
Again,
okay.
you're not
You
smart
said
enough
it.
to understand. So let me just put it in context to you, because again, you're not smart enough to understand this. When I say low hanging fruit, it is specifically about feminism. I'm not talking about low hanging fruit debating about topical issues like the war or the economy, which is stuff that I do on my show. Very often I talk about those topics. When I say low hanging fruit, for example, Warren, I'll try to speak slowly so you can understand. I can be condescending as well. So if I asked Rachel or you, let's use you as a perfect example.
Why is he yelling? I don't. Bro goes. Bro needs to lay off the caffeine or something.
If I said, Warren, we're going to pay you some money to come out here,
Like, honestly, you couldn't pay me to get that angry. It's too much work.
going to be in front of all my fans, and we're going to talk about the UNLV basketball team. And then after the debate, I'm going to say I owned you and I wrecked you. What would you say?
Fair
I'd be
enough.
tempted to do that. Honestly, that would be, but I probably wouldn't do it. But it would be
Right. Okay.
tempting.
Okay.
If you
would
want to
do
do it, I would love to.
Warren, it's
ABL basketball.
okay. UNLV. So Warren, hypothetically
Why?
speaking, if we had a debate like that, and then I said I owned
If you want
you,
to,
you would
if you
say
want to,
that.
if it wasn't about basketball, I'll do it. If we can
Okay.
actually talk
So,
about something
okay.
I'm interested in.
I'm not talking about necessarily whether it's another topic or whether you would agree to do it or not. The point that I was trying to
Security
make,
risk. Yeah.
the
Sorry.
point that I was trying to make, which I still think you're struggling to understand, is this is not a topic that I have much interest at all in. I've never talked about it in my career. They knew that, but I was still willing to do it because I knew that they want clicks and I'll still speak my mind, right? I think she's a despicable human being, her and her husband, and I just had fun with it and it's cool and you guys can clip farm it. It doesn't bother me at all.
Why is my internet bugging out? Oh, it might be. It might be their or live stream because this says the quality is 4K. Dude, he's terrible at running a show.
I had fun with it.
Clearly
But
bothers you, Brian.
but are you my therapist now, Warren?
And then he laughs like a.
Are you
I
my
mean, you've been
therapist?
ranting about it for like 20 minutes.
Well, I haven't been ranting about it for 20 minutes. Again,
Okay,
you
you
came on,
literally have.
came on about 25 minutes ago. We've been talking about this.
You see what I mean? Okay,
about
25 minutes ago. In your world, that would be a lie to you. I said 20 minutes, not 25, and you
We've
you
been
literally point
we've been
that out
talking
as
about
though
my
you're
debate.
making a point.
We've been talking
There's,
about this debate for 20 minutes. Really? That long?
I
Okay.
thought,
Maybe we can go back and
man.
take a look at that. Okay.
This is
Maybe we can go back and take a look
infuriating.
at that.
Are you,
I'm trying to
is your
explain
point
to
that the
you,
time
Warren.
that has transcended is not
Yeah.
accurate?
If you see me looking here and looking here, it's because I have a screen here and a screen here. But sometimes I go to the littler screen over here because people are saying stupid stuff in the. I don't know why he has the chat up, but it bugs me. Like I'm not reading the chat. What I mean is like it's distracting.
It's
Warren,
not 20
Warren,
minutes.
very
That's your
boring,
point.
Warren, very boring. My point is you're a bad guest. But anyway, moving on. So
Okay.
the point that I was trying to make here, Warren, which you're still struggling to grasp or understand, is when I say low hanging fruit, I'm not saying I can't debate other topics. I'm not saying that, you know, whether it be topical news, like what's in the news today, the week. That's what I do for a living. I don't debate people for a living, Warren. I don't.
So then why'd you go? Because I'm sure they didn't pay you like thousands and thousands of dollars. They probably paid for your plane ticket, your room, and $1,000 in your pocket. Like you turned yourself into a lolcow for $1,000. This is the whole point. You did this to yourself, Brian.
I don't even know what you do for a living other than weird titles and making videos about people like me. I don't know what else you do.
He's a YouTuber. Same thing I do. I'm pretty sure Warren Smith gets hundreds of thousands of views on his videos. His video from 2 days ago, almost 500,000. From 4 days ago, over 100,000. The one after that, 500,000 views. 300,000 views, 300,000 views, 500,000 views, 600. Dude, this is his job. He makes bank. See, that's a thing. Brian gets like 1 or 2,000 views on a video, right? But you would think, even with, because he has more subscribers than me, but I get more views than he does. But that's not my point. My point is I'm a YouTuber as well. This is what I do, and what Brian doesn't seem to understand, which he should as a YouTuber, is CPM and RPM. Warren probably has a very, very, very high RPM and CPM because he's very calm. He doesn't curse in his videos. He takes a more nuanced approach to most things, but he says it in a very calm manner. Like, that's what he's kind of known for, is like being kind of stoic about everything, except for when he's laughing at Brian, which I do the same thing. But if he had a CPM rate, if he had a CPM rate and an RPM rate of $5, right? And it's probably closer to $12. So let's do 500,000 divided by 1,000. Then he could have made $10,000 to $15,000 off that one video, possibly $20,000. I'm talking about specifically the couple that I was just scrolling, of over 500,000 views. Like, he's making bank. Actually, I can figure out. I can tell you. I don't know why. I think I'm doing this going into this because I'm a YouTuber and I'm curious. So let's go here. What's Warren Smith's show's name even? Oh, it is Warren Smith. Okay. I knew it had something to do with philosophy in the thing. He's making $900 a day on average. I'm saying a day. $813, 1.9K on that Wednesday. The Thursday, the next day, $769. I guess it just bugs me because people are always like, YouTube isn't a real job. And it's like, well, yeah, if you have like 5,000 subscribers, it's not. But I mean, he has Warren has um 629,000 subscribers, and this website's saying he probably makes around $300,000 a year in ad revenue. But that's my point. Like, don't worry, I'm coming around to a point. My point is he should understand what RPM and CPM is, and he should be like, he should know that Warren this is his job. He said, because what Brian said, I'm probably gonna stop the video after this because I'm getting irritated. He said, I don't really know what you do. Yeah, you do, because you had to watch his channel for, I don't know, 100 videos to get the screenshots. Like, you know what he does.
But the point I'm trying to make is you couldn't find somebody that's more biased than you. You don't think anybody on the left, you've never done a video of anybody on the left defeating anybody on the right in a debate. You would never call out your hero, Elon Musk, for anything. Same thing with Donald Trump. I don't think you've ever really done more than maybe
I
1
have
minute.
literally told you things that I dislike that I think have been mistakes that he has done. What makes you think Elon Musk is my hero?
Yeah, that's why I stopped. That's where I paused it, but I wanted to hear what he said about Trump. Like,
What videos have you done? Like a long form video,
The
10
one
minutes.
that you pointed to as evidence of something I've done wrong, making peace with the left after in the wake of the shooting. I think that was poorly handled, very badly handled. It was
I'm
a
not
big
talking
mistake.
about something on my show. I'm talking about videos that you've made where you've done a 10-minute
I
segment
would have to go
criticizing
back.
the right.
Brian, I do 3 videos a week. I would have to go back and look.
All right. So how long have you been doing this for, Warren? How many years have you been doing YouTube?
Probably 2
I don't know.
years.
it's been
Okay,
2
cool enough.
years.
Fair enough. So in the 2 years you've done YouTube videos, you can't name me one 10-minute video you've done where you've criticized the right for anything for the entire 10
Oh,
minutes.
that's not true. No, I criticized Tim Pool. You just said he was on the right.
Oh, the guy that doesn't like you, right? The guy that doesn't like you. Is that what you said? So you only criticize people on the right.
Yeah,
That
Tim Pool. I don't. He made a video upset at me.
So you criticized him because it was personal.
No, because I saw logical flaws in his argument.
Okay. So other than somebody that you don't like, and I'll have to take a look at that video. In the 2 years you've done YouTube, have you made any videos criticizing anybody else on the right, like a politician, not a talk show host, but like any politicians at all? Have you done like a 10-minute video in the 2 years you've done YouTube criticizing anybody on the right?
Yeah, Ted Cruz.
You
There's
did
some
a
other
10
ones. These are the one. I'm just trying to. There's been some. I'd have to. I don't. But that's one that comes
I think he's talking about what Ted Cruz said on the Tucker Carlson show, which Warren Smith did say that, yeah.
to mind.
So Tim Pool, and do you remember what that Ted Cruz video was about?
Israel.
Every weekday at
It was about
noon
Israel.
on KSHP.
What did Ted Cruz say about Israel that you disagreed with? I'm just curious.
What is this music playing?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. What the hell is this music?
That's a technical thing. Sorry about that. What was it about Ted Cruz that
He was talking as though he was claiming that the justification for the actions, I think it was in, supporting Israel is based on his biblical
Okay. Yeah.
So Warren, what do you think about opening up the phone lines? Why don't we let some of my callers talk to you? Would you like to agree to do that?
Happy to, man.
Okay, great. I don't know. You might get laughed off the stage. I hope that's okay.
That's fine.
Is that all right? Okay. 702-221-7283 is the number to call if you want to be a part of it. By the way, I wasn't planning on doing this. I really wasn't.
Totally,
I was planning
it's more interesting.
I was going to have Warren on the show for 25 minutes. And then, people.
And then you spurged out for an hour. I'm not going to listen to his retarded guests call in and just say things to Warren, because that's not productive. Jeez. I don't know, man. I'm very, very, very not. There's very few times I'm at a loss for words. But the reason why I'm at a loss for words right now is Like, what was the point of this? It it let me explain. What was the point of having Warren Smith on? I asked that because if you want to be honest, it started out as 15 minutes of him complaining about disingenuous thumbnails or titles or whatever, which we all do it. Brian does it. He always says like right wing blah 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 like gets owned by me, and like everyone does it. So he brought him on to complain about his titles and thumbnails. And it like went it like coasted over to the Rachel Wilson debate, and then it like went into like how many more affluent friends Brian has, and he's been on CNN, he's been on OAN, he's a syndicated talk show host. And Warren's just like, I don't know people in the media. So it was to complain, and to try to flex something that's imaginary. Like, he likes to say, which I'm going to make a video about this. He likes to say that he was on Fox News. He was never on Fox News. I know what he's talking about because I saw it, because I'm going to make a video about it. But when he went to the TPUSA place and like harassed them, he was like on a local Fox affiliate, which is not the same. He had this dumb "Make America Great Again" like white hat on because he was trying to fool the conservatives. Bro's built like a pyramid, by the way. I'll show you when I make the video. He's always talking about how like Andrew Wilson's out of shape. Have you seen this dude? He's like skinny on top like I am, but it's like as it goes down, like a pyramid. Brrr, has a big beer belly. Like, that's why he shows from the chest up. Actually, I've only been doing from the chest up like today. If you look at a video yesterday, or the last a video I've done, I usually have like my midsection showing. Oh, my point is he came on here to flex something that's not reality. Like, he's so delusional that he doesn't understand that nobody cares that he's been on OAN and Piers Morgan. Nobody cares. Like, on this channel, I mostly talk about music. Do I ever flex that I've been on this podcast and I've been on this podcast? No, because nobody cares except for the people that were there and already know about it. You know what I mean? It's so complain about thumbnails and YouTube titles. Complain about about a particular video where he said he gets laughed off the stage, which was commentary on his debate, which we've already watched that on the show, and it was absolutely retarded. Doing this weird flexing because Warren correctly pointed out that I'm of the same opinion. I would think twice of any friend of Brian's having sound minds. Look how crazy he gets. My bet is he has no friends. That's why he has to talk to all the old ladies that call into his show, and he's like, "Oh sweetie, oh honey, oh sweetie, oh honey." It's actually disgusting. I watched his entire show one day, and I was like, "Dude, this is weird." Because he's got this like batch of old ladies and old men, mind you, who call in, who have their heads so far up their bums. What Warren said is not that far off. And I'll give you an example. I have a sibling. And I would question some of the people who were friends of said sibling. I would question their reasoning skills and their logic and stuff because of this sibling's lack of logic and lack of, you get the point. I don't know. This was unhinged. It's just like, how much longer is it? We're not gonna watch the whole thing. So he talks to people on the phone for another 40 minutes? You're kidding. Yeah, I'm stopped at exactly the 1 hour and like 2 minute mark. And he okay, let me see if he goes straight to calls.
I thought people were going to laugh him off the stage, but I've decided because I have a warm place in my heart for Warren. I want to keep him on, and I want people to call into the show and ask Warren a free for all. So that's what we're going to do. Warren has agreed to it. I asked him first because I'm trying to be as respectful as I can. So the number to call is 702-221-7283. And again, that number to call if you want to be a part of the conversation.
All right, if it's gonna be another hour of the call-ins, I'll make a part 2. Anyways, that's my opinion on this. Bryce Shep is retarded, and Warren just doesn't want to be even putting up with this garbage, but he does for the lulz. So big ups to Warren Smith for putting up with this unbearable douche for 2 hours. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments. I think after if you want me to do a part 2 in the comments section, just let me know. I don't think you guys do, but I think next up is the Rachel Wilson versus natalism, and that's gonna be weird because don't anti-natalists don't they believe like they don't, it's like a philosophical way of like saying that they don't believe in bringing new life into the world. So having babies, they think it's unjust and unfair, which is completely backwards to how Rachel thinks. So I don't know. Someone in the comments section told me to watch it, so I'm gonna watch it. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments. Am I right about Brian? Am I wrong? I'm sure, like, I'm gonna make a wild, because I think my last title was like Brian Shpiro ruins career, and there were people in the comments section saying how did he ruin his career, and they left like a paragraph. I think I pinned it. It was hilarious. So, but yeah, even I make crazy titles. So for this one, I'm just gonna be like, Brian Shpiro is left speechless by Warren Smith as he's laughed off own radio show. And then I gotta find a crazy like screamy face of Brian. One of his angry like faces. Anyways, that's all I got for today, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, turn on post notifications, hit that super thanks button if you want to help support the show. Yeah, I think the next one's gonna be the Rachel Wilson natalist, anti-natalist debate. So yeah, hope to see you there. And if this video gets enough views, maybe I'll start streaming my debate reviews. That's the thing. I only do things that my watchers want. So if people want to watch me do this like live, I'll do some live streams. Anyways, this has been Mr. J with the Mr. J Show. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.